Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We are honored to welcome at Ukraine Crisis Media Center Mr. Volodymyr Groysman, Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine and head of the Government Investigation Commission of MH17 air crash. Also, we are welcoming Ambassador Ertugrul Apakan from OSCE and Kees van Ba from Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and head of the Technical Commission of Experts on this investigation. Welcome.
Доброго дня.
Good afternoon. We, with our colleagues, would like to inform you on the situation of the state of affairs. The Commission is at work. We have had another extended meeting with international experts of all countries that came to Ukraine, and that includes Malaysia and countries that lost their nationals on the flight, and representatives of other countries that are interested in helping us with our endeavors. I would like to state that as of today, according to the plan that was formed yesterday, we've succeeded to set up to load 192 bodies of the victims, plus eight fragments of the bodies on a special train. Such works were concluded this morning, and as of today, we are conducting a dialogue for letting the train go and for the train to be dispatched and for the train to reach the destination for forensic examination and all the necessary expert operations. At this point, we haven't yet received any opportunity to dispatch the train. And there's another train that was dispatched. It's empty now. And this train will be in the place of origin for all the other bodies that are still to be recovered. And the Ministry of Emergencies are now in possession of 27 bodies and 20 fragments of bodies. And those bodies and fragments will be put into a special refrigerator and carried to special train cars for also dispatchment of that train for further forensic examination. In terms of search and rescue, 200 people of the Ministry of Foreign Emergencies are now working on that, and according to our preliminary estimations, 800 volunteers are involved in such operations, search and rescue. And presently, we can say that at this point, that's the number, and these are the statistics of our operation. Now, speaking of the technical experts from different jurisdictions that are prepared to offer their assistance and to directly participate in the investigative operations to discover the causes of the tragedy, we are not against their participation. I'm speaking on behalf of the Ukrainian government here. That means going to the area where we have the debris of the aircraft, but guarantees of security in the territory controlled by the terrorists we cannot provide, and guarantees from the Russian Federation for such security are not announced or received by anybody. So, this decision is taken by discretion by the jurisdictions in question individually. If the decision is made on go into the area where the debris are present. We and the President, I emphasized that yesterday. The President provided a special aircraft to carry the experts to the safe point and to the checkpoint from which they can proceed towards the area of the crash, the terrible tragedy. This is briefly it. If you have any questions, we are prepared to answer them. And I think that my colleagues will inform you on the state of affairs as of now. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Minister. Good afternoon. I am the head of the Special Monitoring Mission of OSCE in Kiev. And as you may be well aware, from the very start, our team from Kiev, Mr. Alexander Hak, under the leadership of Mr. Alexander Hak, a team comprising nearly 21 monitors, moved as quickly as possible to Donetsk and then moved to the crash site. And during the last 3 days' time, they have been in the crash site. They are just at the moment at the crash site. The first day, they have experienced some difficulties, some restrictions. The second day is more access has been extended to them. The third day is much better. But we need full access to the crash site. What we are doing there is first to be present. Secondly, to establish the facts and monitor. And we are also cooperating closely with the Ukrainian authorities. Here in Kiev, we are doing daily meetings with the Ukrainian government under the leadership of the Deputy Minister. And also, on the crash site, there is an Ukrainian expert team. We are also cooperating with them. What we need is to expect this train get out of this crash site and brings the bodies of dead persons. This is a tragedy. On the part of OSCE, we are sharing the sorrow of the families of the countries, and we are cooperating with the international task team here. That means forensic experts as well as aviation experts, and we will continue to extend our cooperation to them. And we will be closely cooperating with the international community on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Kees van Baar. I'm from the Dutch embassy here in Kiev right now, from a team who came in from The Hague. We take the lead, say, in the forensic experts who are going to identify the bodies. We are very grateful, say, for the cooperation of the Ukrainian authorities and with the OSCE, say, to make it possible, or all their efforts, say, to make it possible that these bodies are being, say, released. We understand it's a very difficult situation. It is not, say, in their hands as such, as we deal with a lot of problems on the spot. But as it looks now, if these bodies are being released, then they will be met by a team of international experts, and they're going to be identified, and that can be here or that can be in the Netherlands or anywhere. It will be, however, a joint effort by all, say, experts, Ukrainian and all those countries involved. Thank you.
Якщо є запитання,
If there is a question, we are happy to answer your questions. Could you clarify? Are all international experts interested to get those bodies as soon as possible from the crash site. Is it correct? Yes. That is one of the most important issues to get the bodies as soon as possible. I underline, from the first day of the tragedy, which happened because of terrorist act, we were ready to transport bodies of innocent victims, but when our professionals from the Ministry of Emergency started to do that, they were prohibited under the guns to do that. Then they were moved away from that. And you know, the 36 or 38 bodies were taken, then returned. They did some expertise. We don't know exactly what was happening there, but we understand that all the time it is postponed. They delay without any reason. There is no technical reason why to delay the access. They just delay because today by night we could get those bodies if they were sent after they were loaded on the train.
Australia. So, what's your best prediction of when the bodies will be delivered? Where will they be going, and how many do you expect there are?
Я про це сказав, 190.
I told you 192 bodies applied plus 8 fragments of bodies. Arrival time, we will inform you only when we receive information when the train will leave from that crash site. Now it is on the station, it is loaded, sealed, but it doesn't move because militants, they surrounded it and they don't allow it to leave the station. We will inform you when we get it from them. And then international experts and Ukrainian experts, they will meet that train. They will develop the algorithm how to work according to procedures and according to international requirements in this case. Let us inform you about when we have information, then we will tell you when, how, where to. We would like to give you precise information, not just, we wouldn't like to use just, you know.
From The Hague, what is your level of confidence in the integrity of the bodies and how they're being treated so far? And also a question of the 192 that have been recovered, do you have hopes that you will recover more, or does that mean that only 192 are indeed recoverable?
Я думаю, об'єктивно оцінити.
To give an objective assessment about the bodies, it's possible when Ukrainian and international experts receive them. As to the second question, as to the bodies, our task is our joint task to find every body of perished victims.
Could you specify, please, who from your team, who is the government negotiating with among the separatists about getting that train moving? And then could you also please tell us about the crash site itself? Who's actually in charge, coordinating those volunteers? Are those 800 people taking instructions from the Emergency Services Ministry, or who's actually in charge of it?
МНС намагається.
The Ministry of Emergency is coordinating that work, but I would like to underline it's very difficult to work there. There are a lot of limitations. You can imagine how to work there under the guns. As to negotiations and who is responsible for that from the government, we sent a letter to everyone involved. We appealed to all. And we authorized Ministry of Emergency to load bodies and to transport them to the place which will be named to them. Also, we confirmed that Ministry of Emergency will continue rescue works in order to find all their remains.
Was the loading of these bodies into these rail cars done with consultation with the Ukrainian government, or was it exclusively at the initiative of the rebels who control the territory? And could I also ask about details of what kind of emergency response center you've set up in Kharkiv? Is there something already running there? And have you communicated anything to the families of the victims about that?
Процесс завантаження.
Loading. The Ministry of Emergency was responsible for loading the bodies on the train, but they were that was done under the control of gunmen. That's why, after the train arrives to the destination, we'll be able to assess what happened to the bodies of the victims. The second question was about Kharkiv. We don't do anything in Kharkiv because we have a discussion how to organize everything. Kharkiv is ready completely for that, but it doesn't mean that we need to go to Kharkiv. We'll inform all where the bodies are, where to go, where families could go. We'll try to do correctly, and also we're working with diplomatic representatives, and they will have full information about everything, and they will also inform us about the number of people who will arrive to Ukraine. And we reserved 500 rooms in hotels. They will be provided free of charge to families of the victims.
Go Yoshida of TBS Hockey, the Japanese broadcaster. It's about the. Let me ask you about the black box. Now, the pro-Russian leaders said that they found the black box and it will be sent to the International Aviation Authority. Is that true? And how much do you know about it?
Хто це заявив?
Who announced that? The Borodai, one of the terrorists.
I cannot comment on that because we don't have such information. We had a suspicion that they had those black boxes. So what happened to those black boxes until now? It's very difficult to say.
News. Where do you expect they will take the corpses of the victims? And would, in case they will propose Donetsk, would it be acceptable for your government to create in Donetsk a kind of forensic center?
I doubt we will accept that. That area is very dangerous for anyone. And I don't think that governments of other countries will agree to send their people to Donetsk. I can inform you that we don't have any doubt about who shot down that plane. And because of that, we understand that a threat is there, and they will threaten other people in the area which is under the control of gunmen.
Kyiv is the place to go.
Це буде наше спільне рішення.
We will decide together with our international partners. We have ongoing consultations, and but the city and how that will happen, I will tell you when we have. First of all, we need that a train start going, and then we'll inform you everything, where that train will be, who will work, and also international experts will inform you about that. We are completely open. Just remember, it's very important. Objective and independent professional investigation. That's awfully important for us of this terroristic attack.
I have a couple of questions from my country, my fellow countryman, Mr. Van Bijen, was it? How is your expert team working now? Is it on site? What is it doing? And are you satisfied with how much access you have?
We know the problem of access, but teams are on the way and to meet the bodies, and that is what we're going to do. And right now, the cooperation, say, with all the other international experts, say, from all other countries involved, that goes very well. Yesterday, we sat together with the Ukrainian authorities. We set up, say, working groups, one for DVI, for the verification, for identification for the victims, and we set up a working group, say, from the investigation, and that's going well. That's with the cooperation of the Ukrainian authorities. And I must say, as for access, the OSCE is very helpful in that.
We will provide, I think, all of the names if you need that. Voice of America, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Al Pessin from Voice of America. For the Dutch representative, is Kharkiv an acceptable destination for you, or do you need to have the bodies in a place with more facilities? How many experts are you talking about to process this number of bodies? How big a team? And for the Prime Minister, can you clarify the numbers? You gave an additional number, I think, of 27 bodies. Is that included in the first number or in addition to the first number?
So the question is for the
Я розпочну з другого. Це всього ті тіла.
That's the amount of bodies that were loaded on the special train, and they are ready to move, and they are ready to be identified.
You said 192, and then you said 27 more. So is the 27 included in the 192?
Ні.
It's an addition.
Додатково. 190.
Addition.
192 тіла.
192 bodies are loaded and they are waiting for the dispatchment at the the railway station. And over this most recent period, we recovered 27 bodies additionally, and 20 fragments of the bodies. In addition to that, they have a special refrigerator, and they will be loaded and put there, and the first train will go to the site of the forensic examination, and it will be replaced by another train with a refrigerator to take the additional bodies, and the 27 bodies plus 20 fragments are currently on the spot of the crash site. And
so is Kharkiv an acceptable location?
I'm not the expert. The expert right now is working, say, with all the others, say, to get together and to decide what we're going to do. One of the things, say, if the train would go to Kharkiv, that would be acceptable for us, but it hasn't been decided yet. And from there on, we have to decide how we divide the task.
How big is your team? There was a question about how big is your team?
Now in Ukraine we have about 100 people, international experts, 200 international experts. Speaking of the division of labor and specific assignments. I would like to stress again that on behalf of the Ukrainian government, there's this full, complete understanding that we have to go to the crash site and investigate it thoroughly. The only problem is security in the area practically controlled by the terrorists. The Ukrainian government cannot provide for security in that area. We cannot guarantee it. The Russian Federation at this point have not made up their minds about how they can provide for security in that area. But if the experts decide on their own accord to move in, we are prepared to carry them, but that will be done by their discretion because OSCD cannot guarantee that security. It will be at their own risk, but we are prepared to take them to the safe point and then to the checkpoint and to the crash site.
The Dutch gentleman, have relatives started arriving, relatives of the deceased? When will they arrive and how are you going to organize that?
They haven't arrived yet, and there's no question as such right now of relatives arriving. We don't know, say, where the bodies will go to right now, because that's still, say, not clear, not certain. So relatives arrive, and that's not a question right now.
Also, John, please. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Phoenix TV for Hong Kong. It's a question for Vice Premier. I just want to know, 3 days pass, and would you tell us exactly where are the 2 famous black box and who keep these boxes now? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do not have them in our possession. The suspicion is that they are captured by the terrorists, and we do not know what have happened to them. And now, based on the information that I've heard, the mass media have this information that confirms the fact that they are in the hands of terrorists.
Information about the bodies collected on the railway cars. I have a separate question about a separate group of bodies that we understand are in the Donetsk morgue. My colleague in Donetsk today interviewed the Deputy Prosecutor General in Donetsk, and he's confirmed to us that there are 32 bodies or sets of remains in the Donetsk morgue that he has seen and he helped recover from the crash site on Friday morning. These sets of remains apparently were remains that fell from the sky in people's homes and in their yards, and they were immediately collected on Friday. Are you negotiating right now for the collection of these 32 bodies, and how will they join the rest of the collected remains?
Я ще раз хотів би наголосити.
I would like to emphasize again that 192 bodies and 8 fragments are the bodies that include the 36 or 38. There are different figures stated or announced. There's the bodies of the victims, and they are all put on that special train, the first train. But why 36? Why 36? What they did to those bodies? We understand that they conducted something to cover for some facts or to hide some facts. Tokyo TV about relatives of the victims. Have anybody come to Kiev, to Kharkiv? We have no information on the arrival of any relatives or any family members. Coordination of this will be conducted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on a request of the embassies. Arrival of individuals who are family members, we have not received any such information, but there's the call center that works around the clock, and if they arrive, they should call there, and they will be provided with all the necessary
What communication, if any, have you had with Moscow about putting pressure on the separatists to allow full access to the site?
There's the official contact group that is doing that. Our former president, Leonid Kuchma, is head of that group, and is my CD, and we have constant communications with them. I am in touch with the ambassador of CD, and if it is necessary to make any clarifications, I am always available. But I don't think it's about bilateral contacts only. It's for the whole world. We have to put pressure on the Russian Federation and make them provide guarantees of security for expedient investigation, complete investigation, public, open, and this is a matter of principle. My question to Mr. Groysman: what do you know about this information that for some days now, on the crash site, some unidentified experts were busy taking bodies and debris to destroy the evidence that connects those exhibits with the terrorists? Have you got any information? I have no information that I'm in the commission by that, but I would not exclude such a possibility. But it's all in vain. They won't be able to hide anything.
From Fairfax, Australia. Can I ask, are Australian experts with you? Are they helping you? Can you talk about any role they would play? And is there a message for Australian families who might be on their way there? Where should they come to, Kiev or Kharkiv?
Well, as I said, we don't know, say, where the bodies will be going to right now. There are Australian experts in the team as well. They're part of the team. As for your other question, I think that is something for the Australian embassy to answer. I don't have any information on that one.
I would like to add to this that the Australian embassy is very cooperative. Yesterday we had a meeting with the ambassadors of the said jurisdictions, and that includes the Australian ambassador.
From ABC, for the Dutch representative, sir, how confident are you that the families are ever going to get these remains back? It sounds like they are caught in this political battle. Do you have confidence that the remains will eventually end up in the family's possession?
I still think, say, right now, there is hope, as well as with the efforts of the OSCE, as with the efforts of the Ukrainian authorities, that these bodies are being released. I hope so.
I would like to add one thing to that. In order to do that, to accomplish that, we have to obtain access. And this access is blocked. Safe access to the crash site is blocked. And it's done on purpose. We fully understand that the lab equipment, technological equipment, the best experts, international experts are prepared to identify, to go to the site, but they are not admitted. Why? One final comment, and we'll thank our visitors on that note. I would like to thank you for your attention. I would like to apologize for the delay, and I would like to assure you that it's all under full control and continuous control of the President, the Prime Minister of Ukraine, and our group is working in contact with them, and every day we have meetings with the technical groups, with experts and the embassies and the OECD, and we are making all the efforts, everything necessary to remove all the obstacles in the expeditious and expedient way to have thorough and proper examination and investigation of this terrible tragedy, of this terrorist attack. Thank you very much. We'll keep you posted.